Alright, so I'm going to shoot this video real quick for you. So here's the dash camera inside my Corvette. So from the driver's seat where I'm sitting, my eye's actually a little bit above this, so I barely see it. From my point of view, I barely catch the bottom of this thing, but this is it. It's a very small dash camera. It's got a suction cup on the windshield, and then you just connect the dash cam itself to that guy. On this side, it has a micro USB for the power. The one on my Camaro is a mini USB, so you really have options if you want to do mini, which is kind of like what GPSs have, or the micro. I like the micro. And to answer your question about whether or not you can plug it into your computer to get the data off of it, you can. It comes with a wire that's micro on one side and then a regular USB on the other. And then you could, if you wanted to, every time just pull this thing off, take it inside, plug it into your computer, and then get the footage that way. Or you can simply pop out the micro SD card on the side of it. I have a 32 gig in there right now. It came with an 8 recording at 720p and I believe 30 frames per second. That one will get you maybe like 45 minutes of footage, which I guess is fine, but I would prefer to be able to go back more than 45 minutes if I needed to for something. So here's what you can do. When it's powered off, you could either press this to turn it on. You got your up and down controls, your menu, your different mode, because you could take pictures or set up recorders. You notice it's not recording right now, but that's because I manually turned it on. So you can use it without the power source for the battery, but you can't do that for long, and the battery will eventually die on it. So I believe OK from here would actually, yeah, see now it's starting to, I don't know how well you can see that, but it is starting to record. But that's not how I do it. You can program the date and time, date stamp it, press menu, that's the camera. This is the mode with all the footage on it, so I can go back and review files while it's actually recording. You can, I believe it's press and hold OK, or it's this button, one or the other. I have to read the instructions again. Well, save it. But you also have other options on here. You can put a G-force sensor, so if you hit a big bump or you're in a collision, it'll automatically save the footage. Or if you're out of the car and it's parked and it's getting power, let's say if you had a full-time hot thing and it gets bumped into or whatever, it'll start recording. So if someone crashes into you while you're parked, it would start recording. I have all my shit set to manual. I don't have any of that stuff on because with the St. Louis roads you hit a pothole and it starts saving everything, and then you can't record anything new because all your footage is getting saved on. So what happens when you run out of footage, you can set it to loop recording where it automatically starts writing over itself, or you could set it to where it just stops recording everything. I don't have it on that. I just have it on loop recording. So if you, if you have the G sensor on, every big pothole or impact you hit, it'll automatically save that footage, and eventually when it saves up enough, you won't be able to record anything new and you'll miss something. So you don't want to do that. Or at least I don't. Now, I have this thing wired, as you can see. Instead of just dangling it down into the power supply, I have it going up into that panel. So I have it wrapped around the mirror a little bit, just to give it some slack if I ever need to unplug it for something. It goes up in here, and then I have it going all the way through there, and then it's concealed up in this panel because I don't have a headliner on this car. The roof is see-through, so I have it up in here with all the other wiring for the mirror lights. It runs down the A-pillar, down through the fuse box, through the vents, and then it comes out of the vent, and then I just have it kind of wrapped around this guy, tucked up into there, and then every time I get in the car, before I take off, I just plug it right in, so it gets power, then it'll automatically turn on, and when it gets power and turns on, instead of pressing the button to start it, it starts recording on its own. You can see with the little red dot over there. And then I could either turn it off. It's also got night vision. I believe if you press the power once, it'll switch to night vision. I don't ever use night vision. Even at night, it records well enough with the street lights out here, in my opinion. And then when I pull over somewhere, or I'm parked or whatever, if I'm going to run in for a minute, maybe I'll just leave it connected. But if I'm going to park at work or something, you unplug it, and then after 5 seconds of it not getting power, it will automatically turn itself off. So it records for like a little bit after you're done doing your thing. I'm sorry for the blurriness. This thing keeps focusing on my fuzzy dice. But anyway, and in the Camaro, it does not have a constantly hot power supply. It's one of those things where when you turn the key on, then it powers up the dealio. There's a cigarette lighter in this car, so it's always hot. But anyway, in the Camaro, what happens is I have it kind of the same way. The only difference is it's the same dash camera. It just has a mini USB instead of the micro for the power. But I do the same thing. I have it running up into the headliner, down the A-pillar, through the glove box. Then I had to take the waterfall out on the transmission tunnel. I ran it through there, and then in the Camaro, there's 2 outlets. There's one by the shifter, and then there's one in here. And then in the Camaro, I just had it opened up, and then it's constantly always plugged into that one. So I don't even have to plug anything in or out. I just get in the car, start it. It turns on, starts recording, and then when I'm done parking the Camaro, I turn it off, and it automatically turns it off. So if your car is newer, like the Camaro, that's what it will do. And then you don't have to do anything else other than that. So if you have any other questions, comment, Chris, and I'll reply. Oh, and then when you did take the SD card out, though, I have one of these little doohickeys. You just plug your micro SD inside there, and then it's USB on this side. So you just plug it into your computer, and that's how I look at the footage. I don't pull the whole camera out and then bring the wire in. That's a bit much. So I just pop that out, boom, boom. And then I also keep the little 8 gig in here just in case somebody wants to confiscate that bean footage for something, insurance purposes or what, law enforcement purposes or whatever. I'll still be able to record on the way home. But in all honesty, I would probably just keep that secret from them. Put it on YouTube, and then if they have an email address, email them the link later. Because you know how things like that go. You know, their cousin gets involved in the crash, and then all of a sudden that footage you gave the officer goes missing. So you don't want that. But yeah, that's it. It's pretty simple. I have it running completely concealed. This one I have to manually do. Same with the BMW, because it has 2 power supplies also, but they're also both cigarette lighters, so they're always hot. So that one I have to unplug and plug when I park. The Camaro, don't have to do that. It's, you turn the key on, it starts recording. You turn the key off, it stops. And that's it. Alrighty. I hope this helps, Chris. I recommend it. Gotta protect yourself. Gotta get a dash cam. Alright, peace.